I want to talk for a couple minutes about identity. What do you think of when you hear the word identity? If somebody asks you, who are you? What do you say? What's your first reaction? I know there was a time in my life when I would say something like, I'm a mother, or I do this for a job, or I do that. But those are not the things that you are, those are the things that you do. If you are a child of God, then your identity is found in Him. Your identity is who He made you. So if you struggle with that, if you feel like you go from this to that to the other, and you really don't know who you are, sometimes we can get tainted by things that we've gone through in life, whether it's rejection, abandonment, you name it. So many things that we go through in life can cause us to see ourselves through the lens of whatever it is, whatever different ways that we've been hurt. If you've endured trauma, then you can associate that with your identity. But that is not who you are. I can say for myself, I was having this conversation with my husband just the other day, and I was saying how I remember when I was a young 20-something-year-old woman, and I was completely different than I am now. I was very wounded. I had a lot of low self-esteem. I had major rejection issues. I had fear. I just lived by fear, but I didn't realize it because it was always normal for me. So when you have gone through things and you've dealt with things in your life, those things feel normal to you. So you have to remember that if you're willing to deal with all of the hurt and all of the things in your past and in your life and give those over to God, allow Him to heal you and get help if you need to, that's how you're going to find your identity. Your identity is only going to be found in God as you draw closer to Him, as you encounter Him, as the Father tells you who you are and shows you the things that are deep within you, because He knows you better than you know yourself. There's a time when I would have never thought that I would be the person that I am today. And I can honestly say that I am free in so many areas that I was bound for most of my life, and I didn't even realize it. And now I can look back and say, wow, that wasn't actually me. I thought it was, but it actually wasn't. I am who God says I am, and you are who He says you are. I'm going to read a couple of things from the Bible that says what you are. Because if you are a child of God, then God's word applies to you and to me. So, according to God's word, you are accepted, you are chosen, you are free, you are forgiven, you're a new person, you are a child of God, you're made in God's image, and you belong to Jesus. So whenever lies come to tell you that you are anything other than these things, find places in the word that tell you who you are and open your mouth and say those things and shut down those lies, because we have a real enemy who wants to tell you lies and wants you to believe those lies, because he doesn't want you to know who you really are. Because when you really get who you really are and you really know who you are, who God has made you, that you are a child of God, and you stand confident in that and who your Father is, you are a danger and a threat to the kingdom of the enemy. So remember, the more that you let God heal your heart, heal all of the areas in your life, the more that you are going to become like Him, because it's what happens. You let Him heal you and He makes you more like Him. You seek Him, you spend time with Him, you become more like Him. All of those things, that's the process, and it's a process that all of us are in. But identity is so important. Don't mind my doggy. She's my little buddy. But identity is vital to the life of a believer. And if you don't know who you are, I don't care how old you are, find help. Get before God and humble yourself and admit, God, I have no idea who I am. It took me a long time to really get that for myself. And when I finally realized it, that I didn't know who I was, I spent years trying to do this and trying to do that, trying to be this, trying to be what everybody wanted me to be and what I thought that I was supposed to be. And it was when I started to allow God to show me all of the things and what I really needed to deal with in my own life. And I know a lot of people might not talk about this. A lot of people might not like to hear this. A lot of people like to just, think that you just give your life to Jesus and boom, everything is, flowers and rainbows, but that's not the truth. There's a process that we go through, and it's a process of becoming more like Jesus. And in that process, finding out who he's made each of us individually, because every one of us is made uniquely and individually and amazingly. God made every one of us a unique masterpiece, and we're all in the process, each in a different way. So I just want to encourage you today that if you struggle with this, run after God in this and find people who can help you, find people who have been through it or who are in the process as well. But connect yourself with the body and run after Jesus, because he wants to show you who you are and who he's made you. Have a great day.